Well, welcome to our lower back love, where we're going to do a little bit of what I call 360 core strengthening. So our core is not just our abs, and our core involves everything that's not our limbs, mas. So we're going to start lying down on our right side. And you can choose if you want to sort of cradle the back of the head or rest your head down. And I just want to check, is everything in shadow? Is it distracting? Or give me the thumbs up if I can switch the light on if not. All right, here we go. So we're going to start with our clam shells. We've done these before, right? So your shins are parallel to the long edge of the mat. The feet are flexed. And hips sort of in line with the shoulders. And then just a little bit of movement here just to wake up these all-important abductor muscles, ABD, or appareil rouge, right? So you'll feel them soon enough. Don't worry if you're not sure. If you're not very intimate with them, you will be. So feet are flexed. And then I'm keeping one hand just at the hip for a moment. I could also take the hand and give a little bit of resistance to the leg, but we're going to do enough that I don't need to be doing that. And then knees together. Take the top foot, your left, your whatever side you're doing. As if you're lying on your back, it's on your right, it's your left. Thank God my job doesn't demand that I know the difference between left and right. We're going to lift just until we start to feel movement through the hip. And we want to avoid letting the top hip roll open. So we're lifting and lowering halfway. So the control that I'm exerting, I'm not doing this massive, like Jane Fonda type movement. That's for a different kind of class. I'm making this very small exploration. Feet are flexed. And I'm avoiding momentum, right? So some of you are going a little bit quicker here. And I do that sometimes when I want to get it over with. But my general preference when it comes to these corrective exercises is to do less, but to do it with resistance and slowly. And then really working to stabilize through the hip. Take a very small circle with the knee, keeping everything as it is. Yeah, and reverse that. Yeah, a little bitty, almost invisible. You could almost do this waiting at a bus stop. Although I hope no one's taking buses these days. All right, take it up and take it all the way down. And you are breathing, right? You can exhale to take it up and down. We do 3 more? I think we can. And you can also take the top arm down once you're familiar with your range of movement. Keep it up. Option, the lower leg, just a few times. 3, 4, 5, up, and then relax. And you can give it a little tap, tap, tap. Take a breath. And taking it into a little quad stretch. So bring the knee in, take a hold of your ankle or the top of the foot. Restabilize through the pelvis. We don't want it rolling forward here. Activate the toes and guide the knee back. Couple of breaths. Honestly, these 4 or 5 things that we're going to be doing, if we do those, I'm happy to do anything in any class. Like I feel like I've covered all the bases. All right, so just a couple of breaths. Beautiful. And then release and keep it where it is. So my knee is still bent, but I'm releasing, not letting it sort of flop out, but I'm hugging the heel in towards my bum. And then you release. And you can tap it out for a moment. Yeah. Good. And then let's come into our easy side plank, which isn't easy. It just doesn't require a ton of preparation. We've already done our morning mobility routine. So move the knees back so that they're sort of in line with the hips, maybe a little bit in front. The lower arm is at a little bit of an angle. So if I have a yoga mat, it's going to be aiming, my left arm is aiming towards the right corner of the mat. I'm going to use the top arm to support me, lower elbow just a bit forward of the shoulder, and then I'm going to flex the feet and use my exhale to lift the hips up. And again, this isn't like a massive statement movement, not very Instagram friendly, but amazing for other purposes, right? Good. And then we can lower almost to the floor and lift. Lower almost to the floor and lift. Chiquita's going to help mama there. She's like, Mommy, you're crazy. Why are you suffering? We could go play. We could be chasing balls outside and you're doing this crazy stuff. And then, you know, top arm can go up or overhead. I'm going to keep it on my hip just for a little bit of support. And you stay up. Yeah, let's say we've done about 10 of those. And you take the top arm behind you, bonus neck release. Roll the top shoulder back and release the head. Oof. And you can play with the angle here. You can also do clamshells here, right? But we'll leave that for next week. All right, so just a couple of breaths, play with your gaze, and then slowly come down and lie on your abdomen in the prone position. Yeah, and that's probably gonna feel kind of good. So we'll take a moment here, a little bit of side-to-side movement. Ooh, breathing freely. A little bit of wagging the tail. And, relax the throat and the neck. But we don't want to get too relaxed here. So go ahead and make your way to Sphinx pose, which is in and of itself amazing for lower back, for posture, for neck. So press your skull back. If you had two more hands, they would actually be interlaced. The fingers would be interlaced behind you. You'd be pressing back, but your hands are down and the elbows are pressing forward, shoulders back, navel in, tailbone down. That's a lot, I know. If you just do one of those paired actions, I'd be happy. You know what, if you're here, you made it, you took time out of your day to do something nice for yourself, so I'm happy. And my cats are all around, so that makes me extra happy. Take a big breath in. This is in your Sphinx pose. And then exhale, drop your chin to your chest. Keep the navel active, press the elbows forward. Pause for a moment, enjoy the stretch. The calm before the storm. Inhale, press your skull back, look forward. Make sure you're not creasing the back of the neck and letting the chin dominate. So press the ears back instead. And then on your exhale, drop the chin one more time. Arms are strong, lips are soft. Tops of feet pressed down actively, kneecaps lifted. Maybe an exhale through the mouth. And then inhale, center. And that was just a little prelude. The actual thing is going to be, unless you're on your ladies' holiday, in which case you'll repeat just the head action, keeping the arms strong, the body strong. Assuming that you're not and the lower back agrees, you're going to look in towards the navel and lift your hips up. Maybe even look towards the knees. I'm going to do that a few times. So gradually release the body down, the upper thighs, the pelvis, the abdomen, inhale. And then exhale, gradually lift navel, pelvis, and thighs. Or as I said, stick with the previous variation. And really slow down the descent. Inhale in Sphinx and exhale to this plank variation. Relax the mouth. Breathing in a little space. And breathing out to claim that space with your core strength. And yes, I'm shaking too. And let's do one more. We're going to hold. Really relax the head here. So we want to isolate the action and activity. So I'm working really hard, but can I release the neck and head? And then we'll slowly come down. Take a little cobra. If you like up dog, this is your chance. So the palms will move back towards the shoulders, shoulders roll back, elbows in and bent. Take a moment and stretch the front body. Whew. And then we're going to come to lie on the second side. So my right side, and whichever side you didn't do, the good news is we only have two sides. So shouldn't be too hard. And there, yeah, you can work it so that you can still see your screen, just for reference. Coming into our clamshells with Mookie. He's going to come and help me. Flex your feet and stack your knees. So make sure your top knee is in line with the bottom knee, so it's not lagging behind. Flex the feet. Mookie and Chiquita are like, oh, what are you guys doing? You're cray cray. Cray cray human, let's go play. So we're doing a little bit of the fluttering, mindful that I'm not using momentum here, which is a tendency. And once again, if you prefer to be like Cleopatra, you can do that. And breathing freely. And once again, sort of playing on the razor's edge of I am doing something active, but can I relax the head? Can I relax the brain? Can I soften the eyes? And then take the top leg up, flex both feet, hug the core in. You could take your hand forward a bit to remind you to stay stable. And then we'll take it up and down a few times. And then once again, noticing the temptation of momentum, and slow it down. Slow it down enough that you really feel each part of each movement through the periphery of the leg. That's a Greek word, right? Either, you know. Good. Or you can keep the hand on the hip. And this too shall pass, and it's for a good cause. Sorry, I'm going to stop with the quarantine quips. Breathing, yeah, and then keep it up. Keep the hips stacked, keep the knees stacked. And take a few little rotations. Really mindful of keeping the top hip steady. Oh, I know. Yeah, this side is likely to burn faster because it's already worked to stabilize the first side. Reverse your rotation. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Got a little bit of moral support from Mookie here. Let's take it all the way up, which isn't up here, yeah? And almost down. Up. Oh, my goodness. We got 3 more here. We've got this. Oh, my Lord. 2 more. Yeah, I see a foot doing a lot of momentum. Slow it down for the last 2. We shall remain unnamed. 1 more, keep it up. Up, 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 up. Maybe a little bit of movement from the lower leg. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's plenty. And release for a moment. Give it a little tap, 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 tap. And then take the knee in, sort of putting everything in flexion, and then a little bit of extension. Mindful once again that the top hip isn't rolling forward and down. Active toes, soft eyes. And then you can play with it. How is it to bring the heel in a little closer, or send the heel back? Find something in the middle. My toes are active. I'm still breathing and talking. And then keeping everything as is, I'm just going to turn to show you. You release. Squeeze the heel in towards your seat. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And we're out of there. Once more, coming into Sphinx pose. Take a moment to appreciate how nice it might feel. By comparison, press your elbows forward, move your skull back. Take a breath in. Exhale, tuck toes under, coming into a half forearm plank. Good. And you can stay here. Or come into plank pose. Just a breath. 3, 2, 1, and knees down. And walk your hands back. And sit back for just a moment. Squeeze out the wrists. Find your breath. So even if the heartbeat might be a little bit heightened or faster, see if you can slow the breath down, switching sides. Good. And then backs of the hands press in towards one another. And then we offer the palms forward. Keep in contact with the hands. Nice and slow. We've got one more to go. So, and then reversing. So bringing it in and taking it out, just like the heart. Like the heart is the perfect metaphor and analogy for the innate ability to naturally give and receive equally. A lot of us have trouble receiving help or asking for help. And the teachings from the heart is that in order to be able to give, we must receive. Right? And that's why it's so important, especially for those of us who have beings in our lives that need service, right? Just all of us, to dedicate some time for self-care. So, yay that you're here. Let's do one more. I'm just trying to sweeten the deal here. And I have a thin mat today, so I'm going to double up on the mat for my knees. You may not need to, but why not? It's Friday. Go nuts. And then we're going to take a moment here. Just do a little bit of what I call shoulder blade push-ups. So I'm keeping my elbows straight. I'm hugging in just a little bit. So I'm neither rounding nor arching. I'm coming into what's known as neutral spine. I'm spreading the fingers wide, pressing the hands down, elbows strong. My wrists are slightly in front of my shoulders, which is fine, which is kinder to the shoulders. And then I'm just going to squeeze the shoulder blades and press away. So I'm pressing the hand, I'm letting the chest drop between the shoulders, I'm pressing away. So it's not, once again, it's not push-ups by any means, because the elbows are straight-ish. And this is what it looks like from seated, right? So it's what's called protraction and retraction of the shoulder blades. Don't ask me what it is in Greek. I'm learning. I'm still learning. Every time I plan like a workshop, I still use the trusty Iatriko Lexikovoithima. It's like a dictionary for medical terms, English to Greek, of course. Let's do like 5 more. And some of us, including myself, are already fatiguing, which is fantastic. We do want to go to what's called the point of failure with some of these, like where we start to really get sloppy with our alignment and what we're doing, to retrain these weakened but beleaguered back muscles to support us, especially with all the screen time we've been experiencing. All right, that's good. And then take a moment, rest, tops of the hands down. That wasn't for the lower back, it was for the upper back and neck. But everything informs everything. Sometimes we segment what we're doing into body parts, but it's all connected through the fascia. Yeah, the fascia is like the yoga of the body. All right, bird up. Here we go. Last one, as promised. So neutral spine, press through the hands. Neutral pelvis. I'm going to keep the pelvis completely still, leotora, and sort of sneak the left leg back without shifting massively to the right. Right, so how am I going to know if I've shifted? The weight's going to have shifted. So equal weight through both hands, and then keeping that, float the leg up. Back foot can be with the toes tucked under or top of the foot down. I don't care. And then we're going to inhale, lower a bit, and exhale, take it up. Very small movement. I'm not doing like this massive ballet thing, right? It's very small. And then stabilize, equal weight in both hands, and then take the fingertips of the opposite hand, the right hand for me, up and forward. This is your bird dog, tiger pose in some yoga traditions. And then inhale, take the arm down. And exhale, send it way up. Press the heel back in an imaginary wall as you reach the front wrist forward. 3 more. Lengthen the side waist, especially on the right side. Last one. Hold for a moment, and we're out of there. Squeeze out the wrist. Shake it out. And then go ahead, pounce. No, you don't have to do that. All right, so once again, let's take 3 cat and cows. So inhale, just let everything drop, let the belly drop, let the heart drop between the shoulders. And exhale, round the spine, navel back, chin in. Again, inhale. And exhale. One more time, breathing in, make space. And breathing out, claim that space. And then find that happy medium between the two. Coming back into neutral spine. Look back and sneak the right leg back, or whichever you didn't do before. Equal weight through both hands. Float the right leg up just a bit. So no higher than buttock height. Once again, lengthen your left side, your left hip back, and the side waist can lengthen here. Take a breath in. Exhale, left fingertips, and then extend. Right, so reaching equally through both sets of limbs on the diagonal. This is a full body strengthening amazement. And then inhale, lower a bit, and exhale. Okay. And we'll do just 5 of these. Again, I'm trying my best to avoid momentum, but I'm also going to try and take it higher last couple of times. So the shoulder goes above the ear. And then we're going to hold and release. And shake your hands out and take a moment. We can do the thank you or the applause. Right? Applause for each of you, each of us, for doing something really amazing that we won't have to do for another couple of days, right? For our posture, for everything that ails us. So that concludes our core morning flow.